American food is known all around the world, but it's not served all around the world. Sometimes eating food from America is like driving off a cliff with your seatbelt on. You think you're safe, but no, you're not. You're just being dumb. These are American foods that are banned in other countries.
Most Americans want to believe that the United States is the gold standard of clean food.
What? No shot. There's no way Americans actually think that. I think America knows that they've got some absolute putty in their stomachs. They've got Play-Doh they consume.
May not hold up to scrutiny.
There's no way they think that. No way.
In mass production to the addition of dangerous chemicals. Countries have good reason to give the side eye to imported foods claiming to be USDA approved. That's right.
Bro, anything can get USDA approved. I could clip my toenails and say, hey, can I sell this? And they'd be like, yeah, whatever, all right.
American foods that have been banned by other countries. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the Weird History Food channel.
Well,
then
if you
leave
insist.
a comment and tell us what other world
subscribe
food facts you would like to know more about.
Jesus Christ, what the fuck? That was the longest. Was that pickle?
Let's see how wrong the rest of the world really is.
Really? Yeah. Wait, Skittles? Okay, we definitely have Skittles. Oh, you know what it is? It's probably some of the artificial flavors and colors in it, because I swear to God that I've looked at the ingredients on US food before. They got the most ridiculous things on there. They just list words that are longer than people's names. They list like Red 22. People are supposed to know what Red 22 means?
Since the dawn of Skittles, there have been rumors about the dangers of eating them. Every one of us heard at least one classmate claim that the
I always used to hate Skittles when I was young.
And the yellow ones?
What?
They give you cancer. Turns out,
of course.
It might be worse than that. First of all, your classmate
Some people would consider that a bonus.
The dyes known as Yellow 5 and Yellow 6 have been linked to hives and hyperactivity in children. Sweden and Norway
of sugar,
have banned
right?
the candies out of concern. The European Union will most likely be banning Skittles at the end of the year, having already swapped out some of the dye for more natural flavors.
That's great. I mean, we still have Skittles in the UK. I've never liked Skittles, though. I've always been like an M&M fan. Maybe it's because I'm not a huge candy person, but Skittles have always not sat right with me. It always gave me this weird kind of nauseous, sick flavor whenever I ate them.
Because of something called titanium dioxide, which can be found making the colors pop across the rainbow. Research linked titanium dioxide
It's got more contrast than a YouTube Kids
DNA,
thumbnail.
which can lead to cancer.
Oh,
While
awesome.
Europe may be ahead of the Skittles awareness curve, America is quickly catching up.
You're catching on, are you?
The Environmental Working Group asked the FDA to categorize titanium dioxide as toxic.
And the Skittles company was like, no, it's not toxic. No, come on. Haha, don't classify it as toxic. You're so sexy.
And
don't do that.
Before you ask, right now the FDA says it's okay to consume some of that chemical compound.
That's true. In the US, it is okay to consume a little bit of lead.
You can taste the rainbow, but just in moderation. California is home to an ongoing lawsuit against Mars Inc., the parent company of Skittles. The lawsuit claims Skittles are not only toxic, but are unfit for human consumption.
You know how the tagline of Skittles is taste the rainbow? I didn't know the rainbow was made of chemicals.
So, for now, play it safe. Just go have some Swedish fish instead.
No, don't eat those. They're gross. Sorry, they're not good. Cake. That's what they're gonna say in it.
Ever looked at a piece of crusty French baguette, be it in cartoon or in real life,
and thought, yeah, I could take all that.
Let's be honest, it was probably in the hands of
never mind.
you, and think, I can't make a sandwich with that. As great as we talk about the invention of sliced bread, a lot of European countries have actually banned much of what you'd find on American.
That's Adam Ragusa. God, I love his videos.
Wide grocer shelves. That's because we make a lot of our bread not just with grain, but with a variety snap packs worth of additives.
And
like
sugar, so much sugar.
Carbonamide.
I always thought it was weird that American bread just tastes sweet. It's weird, you put so much sugar in it, it's just strange.
For example, which helps bleach flour and strengthen dough. Fun fact about azodicarbonamide, it's also used in a spectrum of industrial products, including yoga mats. Downward dogs. The European Union is really...
When you eat your bread, just keep in mind that it could also be used to make yoga mats.
The idea of its citizens eating yoga mat material and has banned their use in food products.
Shocker that they would do that. Quite frankly, I think that's an overstep from the liberal government. If I want to sell a product that is maybe potentially used in yoga mats and may have some toxic compounds in them, which, how can you verify that really? What, you're gonna look at it with a microscope? Then I should be able to do that. You know what I mean?
Pork,
Pork.
the other white meat, is a staple of American meats, along with chicken, fish, and beef. From bacon to ham, hot dogs to pork chops. American meat eaters consume about 67 pounds of
What
pig
the
per
fuck?
person every year.
That's a lot of pig.
Sweet. My heart is stopping. Don't get us wrong. Other nations indulge in swine just as much, if not more, than Americans.
God, I love
why
pork
doesn't
belly
the
so
US
much.
export scores of succulent bacon-bearing boars? Well, it turns out America adds a lot of chemicals during processing. Ractopamine in particular is used in
It's
many
seasoning,
pig
it's for
farms
flavor.
to raise porkier porkers. Ractopamine, which we put a dash of in a lot of foods, has been banned in 160 countries, which all consider the drug unsafe for human consumption. This, in turn, has
Listen, we don't need our product to be safe for human consumption. We don't need it to be healthy. We just need it to taste good, and then we can sell it for lots of money. The customer is just a consumer. They are not important.
has led to a
Think about that.
prohibition of pork exports across the world. The EU hasn't touched the stuff since outlawing ractopamine in 2009. China and Russia have been ractopamine-less since 2013.
Even China
Maybe
and
that's
Russia.
because ractopamine has the same effects as an intoxicant on humans and can cause tachycardia, headaches, and muscle spasms if consumed in large enough quantities. But it is a small price.
We like to call that a nice little side effect to let you know that you're eating some pure American bacon. That headache that you get, just be patriotic and think, salute the flag, you've had some American bacon.
to pay
That
for
headache is a
piece
good
of the
thing.
Pork.
It's just a little bit of chemicals. It's fine.
Hygiene in America often comes down to dousing stuff in a chlorine bath and calling it FDA approved.
Dude, in the UK, we had so much like propaganda going around about like chlorinated chicken and all that when we did Brexit because everyone was like, oh, we're gonna have to get all of our chicken from America. We're gonna have chlorine chicken, chlorine chicken. I don't know if we have chlorine chicken. Hopefully we don't have chlorine chicken because chlorine chicken sounds like it doesn't taste very nice. And I assume that it's not that good to eat. Maybe we should do something else to the chicken. I don't know. I'm not a food man, but I assume that chlorine chicken probably not the greatest.
And chicken is no exception. Pathogen reduction treatments, or PRTs, refer to the use of different chemicals to destroy harmful microbes on raw meat. Somewhere along the line, American
See, the
food
destroying harmful
regulators
microbes,
decided
it's
a quick chlorine
fine.
shock was the best way to kill salmonella and other bacteria on uncooked poultry. Chlorine marinade. And look,
Tasty.
it's not that the EU
Yeah.
is against taking a long gulp from the public pool.
Oh no, Chad, I'm becoming a
now and
vegan.
then. In fact, the risks posed by chlorine consumption are relatively low. The bigger concern is that the chlorine baths are just an eye-burning band-aid on a larger problem, the tip of the beak, so to speak. They're worried that the PRTs are insufficient to deal with more than just
Are they
the
just hanging
bacteria,
out?
and
They're
don't
still
get out
alive?
potential contamination
big
from
chillin'.
things like low-quality feed to unsanitary coops on farms. The EU called the chlorine rinse an easy fix, arguing no chemical rinse will ever remove all bacteria from meat heavily contaminated as a result of poor hygiene.
I mean, that's the end goal of like having super duper capitalism, right? Is you want something that's easy and cheap. And if you have that, silly things like health and maybe not having so many chemicals just kind of gets in the way of the bottom line. And if you want to make more money, then you do the easy and cheap thing. If you want to make the liberals happy,
That hurts
then maybe you ban the chlorine chicken. Mountain Dew? What? Okay, we have Mountain Dew in the
Is
UK.
the closest any soft drink has come to being fully weaponized. But did you know?
I have always said since the dawn of time, every time I look at Mountain Dew, I'm like, this is radioactive chemicals. This is radioactive waste. You should not be consuming this. It's so like bright
In
green.
Norway, the soda is outright banned. That's because Mountain Dew's signature Chernobyl radiant hue comes from tartrazine, also known as yellow 5.
Where's
And
yellow
if your
5?
ADHD hasn't
That
kicked
doesn't.
in
That's
yet,
not. That doesn't
you'll
mean
remember
anything.
that color and number from the Skittles section earlier. It's been linked to headaches, hyperactivity, and the desire to be annoying to other people. Ironically, the qualities that make Mountain Dew a soda non gratis in other countries is exactly what the brand promotes: a frenetic, over-caffeinated lifestyle. Do the do. Baja Blast. Woo.
So bad. I really do want to try Mountain Dew Zero though, because I've heard everyone say that it's really
And
good.
while you might be able to find Mountain Dew,
It looks
in Europe,
toxic though.
it's going to hit a little different.
It looks
That's
like if
because
I drink this, I'm gonna turn into a super
Europe
mutant.
spent exactly 2 years in the 90s riding the dew before discontinuing it. What is being sold as Mountain Dew in the EU has a recipe closer to the original carbonated beverage, as created by Tennessee beverage bottlers Barney and Ollie Hart.
Wait, so we're the
in
OG?
the 1940s. The original Mountain Dew was meant as a whiskey mixer, with the name coming from the affectionate Scottish term for moonshine. It'll tickle your innards, is what the old ads used to read. No lies detected here.
Yeah, I want something that's gonna tickle my insides so that when I drink it, I can be like, ooh, that was a mistake.
Mountain Dew.
Jesus Christ. Oh, that's right. We don't have any of those things here. To be fair, I've imported them from America. All these little Debbie like snacks, all like the Hostess things, the Twinkies, like all that. And I'm gonna be honest, not one of them is good. They're all disgusting. They're overly sweet. They taste chemically. They just fall apart. The texture is not great. You can just go to any bakery in any shop in the UK and you'll find something that's better. I think we do bakery items incredibly well here. We have like the top tier bakery items. You can make fun of UK food all you want. We got bacon down. Great British Bake Off. Yeah, they banned the child.
Little Debbie has been providing Americans with comfort snack food since the 1960s. With their variety of zebra cakes, star crunches, nutty bars,
They just say
fudge
chemically,
rounds,
overly
and
sugared.
cosmic brownies. But their big claim to fame, as anyone who has ever had their lunch packed by a parent can attest, is the Little Debbie Swiss rolls.
Dude, we have these. Oh, we have mini rolls. We have these mini rolls. These are better than the ones you have in America. I'm sorry. They might not be that much better. They're still like the cheap option that you go to. You just pack it in a packed lunchbox or something like that while you go to school. It's not like it's homemade or anything like that, but it's still a little bit better.
Mixture of rich chocolate cake and butter creamy filling. Over 900 million cartons of Little Debbie products are shipped each year, but none of those cartons go anywhere near Austria.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't trust anything that is called cream that doesn't need to be refrigerated, because if it's cream, right, that implies that it needs to be in the fridge, it needs to be temperature controlled, or it'll go off. How many chemicals are you putting in this cream to make it not go off? It's not cream, is it?
Or Norway. Blame those rascally additives, yellow 5 and red 40.
What does that
Swiss
mean?
rolls
I
contain
still don't know.
32 milligrams of dye per product. And in those quantities, they've been shown to have an adverse effect on children. And we're not just talking about causing hyperactivity. Although one study found that cutting all artificial food coloring from diets may be 1/2 as effective as prescribing kids Ritalin.
Bro, oh my god. What is it with Americans that are just like pumping drugs into a problem to make it go
Well, we
away?
can't prove there's a direct connection between artificial food coloring.
I swear to God, every time, I'm sorry, I'm pausing this so much. Every time there's an issue in the UK, it's always like, oh, you want to lose weight? Drugs? Have you thought about that?
And cancer, they do cause damage to white blood cells, causing them to mutate after only 3 hours. Exposure to these dyes could cause tumor cells to multiply way more rapidly. For that
Awesome.
reason, researchers say a high chronic intake of food colorings throughout the entire life is not advisable. If only
I
they
could have
weren't
told
so
you that.
delicious. Surprisingly,
They're not that tasty,
you can
though.
buy Little Debbie's Swiss rolls in the EU, but they come with warning labels advising parents of the potential dangers to kids. You know, like cigarettes.
Bro, if your sweets come with warning labels, then maybe you should put it down and pick up someone else. Special
When you hear
K.
the words
What?
banned breakfast cereal, you're probably imagining one of the countless kid-focused brands of
I thought it would've been
sugary
Lucky
morsels,
Charms.
like the oh-so-delicious Cookie Crisp.
No,
So
we
you
have
might be
Cookie Crisp.
surprised to learn that it's actually Special K.
2 out of
the
10
most
cereal, Cookie
boring
Crispers.
cereal on all of the earth that has been banned in Denmark and discouraged in the EU. How does the healthiest box of flakes on the shelf get banned? While stuff like Reese's Puffs and Cinnamon Toast Crunch continue to enjoy free passage.
Goat cereal, 10 out of 10.
Ironically, because of its supposed health benefits. In the UK,
Bro, it has no health benefits. It's literally just like, it's just carbs. It's just like empty carbs and 1 raisin.
Hey.
In a box of Special K, you will get half a raisin and you will like
K
it.
has been put on blast by the advertising
It's not healthy.
standards authority
There's nothing healthy about
for
it.
exaggerating how much folic acid they pack into portions. Though it's still legal to buy in Europe, Denmark has completely banned Special K since 2004 for all its fortified vitamins and minerals. Regulators argue that Kellogg's cereal's unnaturally high levels of everything from vitamin A to zinc actually qualify Special K as a genetically modified organism, or GMO. More specifically, Special
That's
K
funny.
is swole with the same artificial compounds that studies have shown to potentially pose health risks, specifically to children and pregnant women. In conclusion, you may
Okay, to be fair, what doesn't pose a health risk to children and pregnant women? There's nothing out there that doesn't pose a health risk to a pregnant woman. They are so
want
fragile.
to stick with crunch berries.
No, not the steak.
You don't need to take a transcontinental flight to visit countries that have banned American foods. Just drive up to the Canadian border, flash your passport, and sign an affidavit saying you're not smuggling.
See, let me stop you right there. Americans can't do that because Americans don't have passports. Don't only like half of Americans have passports?
Steak tartare in
Maybe
your
less.
trunk. Today, consuming raw meat has fallen out of fashion in the U.S., much like other foods like veal and pate, which don't make you sick but might
Okay,
make
steak
you sad.
tartare does not
But while
appeal to
baby
me at all.
cow and overstuffed goose liver is illegal in parts of America now, tartare is not. See,
Oh!
while veal and
The duck tartare thing, isn't that like abusive towards the duck? Like they pump it full of fat and it's really like, it's really
uncool,
inhumane.
They're also served hot, unlike tartare, which is chopped
Then
up
again, what can I can't really say anything. I still eat meat. I still eat chicken. They get kept in like little coops and then like executed before just as they're like ripe and ready. I still eat cows that are kept inside all day and fattened up and then executed in these big slaughterhouses. I can't say anything. I'm not on the morally correct side. I'm gonna be honest. Like vegans are morally correct. That is true. But also I really like meat.
straight from the cow. Undercooked or raw foods can lead to an increase in food poisoning and parasitic infections, especially in beef and poultry. But considering how fancy pants steak tartare is, Titanic food one might say,
Mr.
you'd
Bean
think
the
countries
goat.
might look the other way and let the luxury delicacy slide.
we let it slide if the vibes are on check, you know?
They did. In Canada,
It's all
meat
about
has
vibes.
to reach an internal temperature of 145 degrees Fahrenheit, the equivalent of a medium rare steak, in order to be considered safe to serve.
Okay, does anyone have a meat thermometer? I don't have one. I just kind of like eye it. I know I've been cooking chicken long enough to know when it's cooked. I don't have a meat thermometer for anything. I just kind of just eyeball it. When I make a steak, I'll like do the butter, I'll cook it, and I'll kind of eyeball it because it takes like I generally know about the amount of time that it takes to make it medium rare, like I like. So I don't have a meat
Those
thermometer.
rules aren't strictly enforced. That is, until recently. In 2021, restaurant owners in New Brunswick
That looks
selling
kinda
steak
good.
tartare were all served cease and desist letters. Canadian public health officials had decided that amid the ongoing health crisis of COVID-19, the last thing their citizens needed was a side order of botulism.
Does look pretty good though. Coke? Surely not.
Is there anything more American than Coca-Cola? The fizz, the
I can think of a few things like bombing Middle Eastern
flavor,
countries.
the former secret ingredient, cocaine. Coke is basically apple pie.
Was that actually true?
And it's not just Americans who are cuckoo for Coke. Invented by a pharmacist in 1886 Georgia, Coca-Cola quickly caught on overseas. It was the World War II GI's drink of choice. Pre-pandemic, Coca-Cola had 500 brands in over 200 countries.
500? That's
Making it the best-selling
insane.
soft drink and one of the most recognizable brands of all time. But there will always be exceptions. And unlike the other entries on the list, for once, it has nothing to do with health concerns.
Congrats,
Everybody
guys,
knows
you
that
did it.
Coke is not good.
Coke is healthy. No, shut up, video. Coke is healthy. That's what it means.
We just decided collectively that
The Coca-Cola company is not happy with me. That's okay. I'll keep drinking that cup. Oh my god, dude. He's had some bangers. He's had some top hits. I remember when he said, I have never seen a thin person drinking Diet Coke, except he himself drinks Diet Coke every day.
we don't
They still
care.
got a self-awareness there.
The countries that have outlawed the brand have done so because of what it represents, a symbol of the encroachment of American capitalism. From 1962 to 2011, the U.S. banned sales of Coke to Burma as part of sanctions against the military junta that ruled the country until 2011.
They must have been really
It
upset.
resumed sales in the country in 2012. Today, Coca-Cola is only unavailable in 2 countries with long-term trade embargoes with the U.S.
Cuba.
North Korea hasn't allowed
Okay,
Coke
that one makes sense. There's the only,
since
please,
1950,
the other one must be
and
Cuba.
The bubbly beverage has been banned in Cuba
Let's
since
go!
Fidel
I'm so
Castro seized
educated.
supplies in
Yeah.
1962. First the prequels, now Coke. Is there anything that can't be ruined by the federalization of trade taxation? In a twist of irony and lime, Cuba was actually one of the first bottlers of the beverage outside of America. Today, Cuba Cola has replaced Coke as the country's soft drink of choice.
Dude, they have a zero version as well. Damn, that actually looks kind of nice. I kind of dig this. I'm not gonna lie. This bottle looks really cool. I want to give it a try.
Though black market sales abound. After all, it is the birthplace of the Cuba Libre, aka the rum and Coke.
Oh, I can't believe they banned it from there. M&M's?
And-
No, I actually like M&M's.
And M's. The delicious melt-in-your-mouth, not-in-your-hand
They're so tasty,
snacks
though. They're so
were
good.
originally a collaboration between the Scion sons of the Mars and Hershey dynasties in
Hershey.
1941. Like Coca-Cola, M&M's gained international fans during World War II.
Hey, no, you can't show no sexy M&Ms anymore. Remember when Tucker Carlson had this whole section on his show about how he was mad that M&Ms weren't sexy
As
anymore?
American soldiers popularized the candy overseas as the chocolate that won't get your trigger finger all sticky. But you won't find the candy in Sweden, where it's banned due
What?
to a trademark conflict with a popular national candy that also features lowercase m's as its signature. When Mars introduced the candy to Sweden
Oh,
in
that's a
2009,
dumb reason
the
to
court
ban it.
ruled its marketing too similar to that of the Norwegian Marabous, which resemble Kit Kats.
Ooh, that's good.
During World War I, Marabou had moved its manufacturing to its Swedish neighbors, where it received a royal warrant of appointment by the King of Sweden. And here we thought the Swiss were the chocolate snobs. Should you want to check out what the fuss is all about, Marabou's is sold in IKEA stores here in the US.
Oh, what? Dude, what isn't sold in IKEA stores? That's amazing. Nothing like war to advertise a candy. Wait until you figure out that war is great for making money. Listen, if you're a business, if you're a weapons developer, if you make armaments, dude, you love war. War is awesome. You can make so much money in war. It's gonna be great. They love it. It's so great.
M&Ms don't contain any harmful dyes or chlorine residue, right? That's a pretty important victory for hard-shelled chocolate. So what do
None of those sexy M&Ms though, right? There better not be. I hope there's no sexy M&Ms in your house being sexy and seducing you or your family members. But please make sure to subscribe to my second channel. Yeah, let's go. We're almost at 100K.